Hi, everybody. I'm Pete Krupski, the voice of USA Hockey's National Team Development Program. You're watching CTV Sports. Coming up next on CTV, it's the Sports Guys with our good friends Steve, Chuck, and Rod. Don't miss it.
And good Monday morning to everybody here at Alegria Village. I'm Christian Gibbons, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Guys. We're here with Steve Bainey, Chuck Hiller, Rod Calgren, as we get ready for another exciting week of sports talk. We're going to start with a trivia question.
Ooh, there we go.
As you know, you should know by now, the Catholic Church has a new pontiff, and his name is Leo XIV, and he is from Chicago. And after some debate, we learned that he is a Chicago White Sox fan. At first, the Cubs, I don't know if you guys saw this, the Cubs claimed him as a fan.
Yeah.
And when his brother heard this, he called into the news station and said, "The Cubs are wrong. I don't know why, but my brother is a White Sox fan."
Which means that he's more interested in the north side of Chicago.
Well, he's interested in the south side. The White Sox are on the south side. But an interesting side note, the White Sox have not lost a game since Leo XIV has become Pope. And the Cubs have not won a game. So I'm just saying, who is on the Lord's side?
Good one.
So we'll just we'll ask the trivia question. Since he is a White Sox fan, when was the last time that the Chicago White Sox won the World Series? And we'll get the answer to that. You may have seen this on the news. They've played the clip a few times, but we'll get to that later on in the show. But first, let's go to our Tigers recap.
There you go.
It's been a up and down week for the Tigers. They beat the living crap out of the Rockies, who, by the way, the Rockies fired their manager yesterday, Bud Black, because they have not gotten over 6 wins in the season so far, so something had to give.
No doubt.
The Rockies took the Tigers to extra innings on May 7th, and the final was 8-6 there, and then doubleheader on May 8th, and you can see the rest of the scores there. Tigers offense really cooled off over the weekend against the Rangers, but they had some really, really, really strong pitching. The Red Sox come to town for a 3-game set this week, and then our Tigers head up north to Toronto to take on the Blue Jays at Rogers Center to round out the end of the week and the weekend series. Tigers are trucking along. There's not really much to report, other than Matt Vierling seems to be on the mend and on his way back to the Major League club. I know he's going to do some live hitting here coming up this week. And
Nice.
So Tigers we're trucking along. We're staying the course.
What about that pitcher that we paid, $15 million for a 1 year? On Friday, they brought him in and had him, pitch a little bit. But they would not allow any TV or anything. Did you read about that?
I did hear about that. Yeah, there was a little bit of a scandal.
We don't understand that.
In the Tigers press area. So, for those of you who don't know how a pregame works, before the stands are open, the press comes in a few hours before the game, and they get their stuff set and they're offered dinner, and they can go meet with the players, and this isn't the first time. It happened to me at Little Caesars Arena a couple of years ago too, but that's a whole other story. So the Tigers brought in this pitching prospect, or this pitcher, and they wanted him to throw off the mound. Well, they didn't want any pictures or anything, or any stories or anything. So they cleared out the ballpark. They told the people from FanDuel Sportsnet who were setting up cameras and running tests for the show, stop, leave, you have to go back to your truck. Turn off the cameras, turn off everything. Everybody in the press box, all the hundreds of media, you have to leave for an hour because we don't want any. And the press was not too happy about this. There were 2 independent reporters who weren't part of the Detroit
Yeah.
media orbit who were like, no, we're not leaving.
Oh,
We flew here, we paid our way here, we're not leaving. So there was a little bit of a kerfuffle. But I don't know whatever came of that. I don't know if they were actually allowed to stay, but I know it was a big hubbub in the Detroit media over the last week. But if I get an update, I will bring it to you guys.
Good.
Yeah, it was,
I see the manager has passed the 900 mark.
yeah.
in-
AJ Hinch got past 900
wins.
wins
wow.
over the last week, and that was a big
That's
thing.
over three different teams.
Right.
Yeah. And then one more baseball note. The USP, as you can see, the shirt I'm wearing is the USPBL. Our friends in Utica are starting their season on this coming Friday, May 16th. Utica takes on Birmingham. And then they've got a doubleheader on Saturday, and then games on Sunday. If you have grandkids or kids, you want to do a nice outing, Jimmy John's Field out in Utica, great place to take your kids. Prices are very, very reasonable. So make sure you head out there, and we'll keep you updated on the scores throughout the season.
Hey, what about parking out there?
Parking is great. It's a little bit of a walk,
Yeah.
but they do have a shuttle, so if you're handicapped or
Oh.
can't, they will come get you and take you right to the front door. It's a really good family-friendly environment out there. So,
I'll be. I didn't.
so what do you got for us today?
I just recapped the Tigers a little bit on Friday when Skubal was pitching. He was perfect going into the sixth, and he wound up doing 7 innings with 2 hits, 1 earned run, 12 Ks. And of course, the Tigers swept Colorado. They scored 8 on Friday, 10 on Saturday, 11 on Sunday, and then poor Colorado had San Diego come in,
Oh my!
who continued with a 13 runs on what would be Sunday, and then 21 runs, 21 zip after that.
That's
So
what I saw.
having the manager get fired was not particularly surprising.
Nice.
Did they have a situation where if you get too far ahead, they
Oh,
call
mercy, the mercy rule.
No, they
mercy
don't have a
rule?
mercy
Not-
rule.
yeah, not-
No, it's a
not
major
ma-
leagues. Suck it up, Buttercup. Pull up
That's
your big
it.
boy pants and let's go.
That's it. Just play the game and
Yeah.
you might win. All right. And of course, Tigers then got Texas, and like I say, they kind of started off a little shaky with a loss, and then they came back and lost again Sunday. And I think they won the first game of the series.
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. So like I say, they were staying alive. But the craziest thing now is the NBA playoffs. The first round, or the first game of the second round, all 4 home teams, favorites, lost.
Wow.
Ooh.
Boston and Cleveland, the 2 teams in the East, both lost the first 2 games at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they were down 2-0 going out, but of course they came alive in the third game. Boston took a win away from 115 to 93
Knicks.
against the Knicks. And then Cleveland came alive on Friday and won game 3, 126 to 104.
Wow.
But Indy actually came back. They were at home and they won yesterday 129 to 109.
Oh wow! After
And they
getting
were down
lambasted.
41 points at the half.
Wow.
And so it was kind of a beatdown. So now Indianapolis is ready to take out the number 1 team,
Oh, boy.
Cleveland Cavaliers. 3-0 they're up. In the West, they're kind of a little bit more competitive. The Nuggets and Thunder have been going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the Thunder won 92 to 87, and so that tied things up at 2 apiece. And the Timberwolves are up 2-1 against the Golden State Warriors, and of course, the State Warriors lost Seth Curry with a hamstring injury, so he's out for a while. So I think Golden State days are numbered for sure. In the UFL, the Michigan Panthers lined up for at the 1 yard line with 1 second to go, scored the touchdown.
Oh no.
Then, with no time left on the clock, they kicked the extra point and won the game 25-24 against the Arlington Renegades. So the USFL, I mean, that's a pretty good.
It's entertaining.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's an
pretty
entertaining game.
exciting.
it's
Yeah.
not it's not the best.
Yeah.
It's not the best played football necessarily, but all the teams are pretty equal, so it makes for a
competitive, yeah.
competitive, good watch.
Yeah.
And that league is all about the television. They could, I
Oh.
mean, they want fans in the stands for sure. It's how they
No
keep
doubt.
it alive. But it's a TV product,
Sure.
you know. So if you get a competitive game like that, I'd sit down and watch that on a weekend where there's nothing else going on. You
Yeah,
know.
and like I say, there's a lot of. They're showing a lot of the games too.
Right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all
Yeah.
football games.
Yeah.
Well, Fox Sports has a piece of the ownership of.
That,
Oh,
So that
do-
helps.
Oh,
that never hurts.
oh, I
right
didn't
there.
know. So they're involved.
And one other thing, ladies softball
Yes, this is very
is going to
exciting.
start on Friday, and Texas A&M is ranked number 1, but there's 7 SEC teams ranked in the top 8.
Wow.
Oh,
So, needless to say,
To be fair, they can start playing softball in January, where us Big Ten fans up here, we have to go down to Florida to start playing
yeah,
softball.
'cause
So
it's the same with golf. And
all of the
I mean,
spring
yeah.
sports, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
all of the outside sports is like, the South has got such an advantage, you know, even
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they can practice football outside year round, so.
yeah, but they, they better not.
Yeah.
Better
Well, yeah,
not
they got
have
limits,
1
but-
minute over, I'll tell you.
Chuck will be on it.
There you go.
He's got a stopwatch.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
But that'll about do it for me. We got a lot of exciting sports, which is always a good thing.
So, Chuck, we were in Kansas this week for Cup Cars and Truck Cars.
Yeah. And,
Truck Cars. What?
Cup cars, that's cute.
Yeah.
I think it was in 95, 96, I went to Kansas for it. And what a beautiful place to go. Number one, you can drive right on in, folks. There's a sideline. You're on the expressway. You pull right on into it. They had, I don't know if they did the expressway for the race or if it worked the other way around. But the one place you could get into very pleasantly, nice area, the way they shaped it and so on. One does not see all of the stands. It's the craziest thing. It looks like it's out in the nobody's there.
Oh.
But they're hidden in different areas there. A very nice track all the way. The only problem is that it kind of affects the tires a little bit, a lot.
Oh,
And they had a little problem with that. They run their tires, folks, at 42 on the left and
42
26, 24, 22 in the right. Can you imagine that difference in air? Now, that's one thing, but when you're starting out and you throw it in that first gear, you know, the torque of that engine is so much, 740 horsepower. The car will go down, and when it goes down, it has a tendency to mess up that tire. When you only got 26 pounds anyway, and it goes down there, that grabs onto the cement, okay? But when you grab onto the cement, the poor transaxle in the car can't
Has
stand
nowhere to go.
that torque. And the best car was Hamlin by far. He had the best car, but he lost it because of his transaxle. And so it's one of those things they're going to have to balance it out better. And then, of course, the other thing was gasoline. They had a concern about it, but they did come through on that. But even at that point there, if one went too high and you smashed into it, I don't know what these guys are doing, but all of a sudden you see it open up and the smashed car goes right down to the bottom, probably going head first into the barrier there. But it's so strange that these guys are so knowledgeable now. They can back off a little bit and let let the damaged car go down, and they just go on there.
And what's interesting to me about the PSI is Goodyear says that their recommendation is to go no lower than 30 PSI
And they're doing
on your
22
tires, and then
20.
they knock it down to 24, 23, right on that edge, because that's how you pick up your speed if you're good at it. If you're not good at it, your tire goes, and your
Hey,
day's
that's
done.
whatever, yeah.
But yeah, it was quite an interesting race, and Kyle Larson pretty much start to finish had that one won. So
200 was it 221?
one of 267.
Yeah.
I'm sure they wear out a lot of tires during practice
Oh yes.
because they'll
Yeah, I mean,
change that.
You only
That-
you only get what is it, 6 or 8 sets of tires
Yeah.
for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so
Yeah,
they'll get a lot of changes in practice all the way and get
Yeah.
ready for the real thing.
And they're still running into a little problem with that single lug nut.
Yeah.
Notice the one guy ran it, but he's the one who won the race.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
But he went on there and he went like that, and that lug nut went woo away.
Yeah.
But he had another one in his hand, his
Oh,
left hand.
yeah.
Put it on there and
Got to
drove
have
it.
a backup in your belt,
There
ready
you
to
go.
go.
Yeah, because you talk about tires. If you've ever seen drag racing,
Mm-hmm.
when they put those big slicks on, I mean, their tire pressure is so low that when they run the takeoff in slow motion,
You see,
Right.
it's almost an oval.
Right.
The way that tire is so
But they're
distorted,
made
biting
for
into
it,
the
too.
ground and
oh, they are
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
They are something else. So anyway, who won? Larson.
Kyle Larson
won.
won.
And second place was Bell, right?
Yep.
And it's the third time it's
I believe
happened
so,
this
yeah.
year.
oh,
And Bell is the one who 2 years ago I said looked like he was going to be the big winner for a while, and he's hanging right on in there. Give him a couple more years, he'll be the top person around
you
there.
nice.
Good attendance, they say. You wouldn't know it when you can't see the people.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go back to one thing on the Tigers. Tremendous attendance.
Yes.
Tremendous.
I heard from a lot of people that said the lines to get into Comerica Park were opening day like lines.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was
I
Friday
saw, I
night.
saw a picture, I think it was in the news or the Free Press, had a shot from over the Big Tiger, and the lines were going all the way to Woodward and then out.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And I
It's
just
been
thought,
so long since they've had
they've
a
had any
consistent winner.
Yeah. So
that, yeah,
it's
people wanna
just
see-
a shame that there was no offense to see when they came to the games this
Right,
weekend.
yeah.
But
my idea is go to a game away from Detroit area and watch them play well.
Yeah, like Colorado
And I don't
Rockies.
know. I saw them in Milwaukee a couple of weeks ago, and they played like absolute garbage. So
Okay.
they had no offense
Yeah,
there
but that
either.
was cold. You go to
There was a
Chicago.
there was a
or
roof.
go to Cleveland where you can really see them lose.
Yeah.
There you go.
Talk about a
Go to the
mistake
White
by the
Sox
lake.
game.
Anyway,
Chet Lemon died.
Yes, Chet Lemon died.
And
So
Mitch Albom had a nice
did he?
article
Yeah.
about him
Okay.
back when he was really
In his heyday, yeah.
good. So.
now, isn't he the one who came out of prison, Chet Lemon?
I don't know that story.
I don't
I'm too
know
young.
about that.
Yeah, I thought it was. But I know that there's been the Chet Lemon story. I've seen
Yeah.
that one there. And I think that's how he started out, but he did
Oh.
very well. He
Yeah.
did very well for us.
All right, Rod.
But
What do you?
that's about it for racing.
Rod, what do you got for us?
Well, we're getting into some pretty good golf matches. The Truist tournament, which you probably haven't heard of too much. Truist is a bank,
Big.
and banks have a habit of supporting these kind of events.
There you go. Why not?
But normally it's played down in Charlotte at Quail Hollow. But this week the PGA is being played in Charlotte
Oh,
at Quail Hollow. So the Truist tournament was moved to just outside of Philadelphia. It's a $30 million purse, and the winner gets, I think it's 3.8. And the winner is Sepp Straka, the Austrian.
There you
Okay.
go.
Straka was born in Venice. He moved to the United States with his family when he was 8. He's 32 now. This is his second win this year.
Yeah.
He won the
Oh.
first tournament of the year,
Yeah.
and then he won this one. He played for the University of Georgia. He grew up in Valdosta,
Okay.
and of course, as we were just saying, these southern schools get a lot of practice, but it was a close match, although he was, I think, 18 or 19 under par, but he just beat Sean Lowry, the Irishman, and Justin Thomas, who were a stroke or two behind him. So that was pretty exciting, and this week we're going to move to Quail Hollow and have the PGA, the second major.
All right.
Yep.
That's a lot of money to be giving out at one crack, if you ask me. That's a
Well,
lot of
they
money.
probably charge them a pretty penny.
Yeah, and TV revenue too doesn't hurt.
Oh, okay, I always forget
Yeah.
about that.
And the LIV is pushing
TV.
the numbers up too.
TV pays.
I just
Yeah,
can't.
that other league, they're giving away so much money. The PGA has got to give away more
Right.
money.
Okay, okay.
Well,
Well, I mean, Live, they pay salary, so it doesn't matter if you win or lose.
Oh,
Oh,
Mickelson's still making his $40 million or whatever a season.
right, but the winner of
The winner of the
tournament gets more.
you still get your prize money, but you know that's why these guys go there. It's because they get
yeah,
a salary.
right.
That's why they poached all the big names from the PGA because
yeah.
the
Oh my
the
gosh.
Saudi Arabian I don't know what they call it, the fund.
PIF, whatever.
Yeah,
Backers,
the government subsidized fund. You know, you're making $40 million just to show up for all the tournaments.
That's a
gosh.
nice chunk of change.
It's a good job if you can get it.
You know.
If you can hit a little white ball, or a big white ball like Miguel
Well,
Cabrera,
the only thing that surprises me is there's not more guys go over there. you
right?
know? It's like, yeah, I mean, $40 million is
Well,
like,
it doesn't always do good for your public profile necessarily if you're in bed with the Saudi Arabian government.
No,
I think
no,
is
no.
part of why some of the guys don't go over there.
oh,
Um,
yeah, like I
You know,
mean,
you're
just-
talking about golf here. There is no such thing as how much you can practice ahead of time, like
I
in
don't believe so.
football, basketball, and that.
because it's an
It's an individual
individual
thing.
sport. Yeah.
What about tennis and that? You know,
I think tennis is the same. It's an
Well,
individual sport.
tennis doesn't have the overhead that golf does. I mean, to build a golf course,
Right.
you need area, you need good geography.
yeah, that. Yeah.
You've got specialty things to make greens and traps
Right.
and
Yeah, weather.
so forth.
Yeah.
And weather.
Tennis, you just need a
A
square,
square area.
Yeah.
square half acre.
A couple of pieces
and
of tape and a net, and
flush
you're
it
good.
down.
All right, let's move back
Oh.
over to our trivia question
Oh, yeah.
before we head off the air. So, like we said, the new Pope, Leo XIV, is a noted Chicago White Sox fan. When was the last time the White Sox won the World Series?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
53?
Mine would
No,
be
a
just a
little
cat.
sooner than that.
Wait, what?
What?
2005
Oh,
was the last time the White Sox won the
Oh, I
World
was
Series.
gonna say
Yeah,
not as bad as I
2010.
thought.
205.
20 years.
And here is the new Pope
With,
Oh,
at
there
the
you
White
go.
Sox game.
with his mother, right?
I'm not sure who that is, but I know that that right there is Pope Leo at Game 1 of the 2005 World Series.
Nice.
So that will wrap it up for Sports Guys this week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have more next week. We'll have a full wrap-up of Quail Hollow and the PGA Championship. We'll have more Tigers. Probably no more Pope news here on the Sports Guys. Unless the White Sox, go on a playoff run, which I don't think that's going to happen either. I hope not. All right, we'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye now.
Take care.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pete Krupski, the voice of USA Hockey's National Team Development Program. You're watching CTV Sports.